Alrighty, I'm here with head coach Carol Price-Torok for her weekly press conference. Just finished off a weekend at the NDSU/UND tournament with 2 wins over North Dakota and Idaho. Looking forward to hosting the Roadrunner Classic, taking on UT Arlington, North Florida, and Prairie View. Coach, if you want to get us started with an opening statement.
Yeah, we're excited to be back home. Excited to play in front of our fans. Just the routine of being at home and getting ready this last weekend before we start conference play. Proud of the girls. Kind of had a dogfight again in that first match. Thursday morning, and then had to bounce back and play another game at night. So definitely some marathon matches here in preseason, which is what we want. We want to see ourselves get tested and see some of these young players get tested early and be in those situations that are high pressure, and then be able to bounce back and execute on another match. So glad we were able to do that this weekend, and looking forward to being at home in front of our home crowd coming up.
We want to get it started with questions.
Yeah. Following on what you were saying, Coach, a lot of the games were very great starts. This minute. Sorry. Did you want to go first?
Sorry, Shirley, I think you're cutting out. Terrence, you want to go ahead?
Coach, you spent the last 2 weekends on the road, and I guess how much just kind of being like in a hotel, just kind of the team together with a young group, how much does that kind of maybe help with the improvement and kind of understanding and stuff like that?
A lot. I mean, we don't get that time when we're at home. We're not together as much, and just being able to figure out what makes them tick and kind of see them in some of those pressure situations and back-to-back matches when we're traveling, and maybe everything's not going their way. It's going to really pay off in the long run. We are seeing a lot of young players get a lot of minutes, and so I think it helps a lot for them to be not distracted on the road, be able to be just immersed with the team and in volleyball, and be able to just get after it.
Was that kind of important with the young team just this early in the season, just to kind of not have the distractions and kind of see the results of their work as far as wins and improvement?
Yeah, I think it's really important, for us to make that jump in conference. And, one of our goals is to make it to the conference tournament and make a run. We got to be on the road. We got to be tested on the road. We got to put them in some adversity and some tough situations and let them battle through it. Obviously, we wish we would have had one or two more wins here, but we need to be in those 5-set matches. We need to be in those tight matches and make them play long and count on each other for what they're doing and continue to get after it.
Journey, you can go if you have a question.
Yeah. Noticing that a lot of the matches do start off with a strong start, a lot of attacking plays we see from players like Ali Tribe and Brooke Elliott, but there's a loss of momentum going into these later sets. And I want to ask, how do you plan on working on this, both as a team and as the players individually? Is there anything that they can maybe work on to probably build up that momentum and keep it going into these later sets?
Yeah, I think some of that's handled in practice, and then some of it is just young players learning how to sustain throughout a match. How do you manage yourself? How do you manage sets when things start getting long and we're playing long? How do you continue to be efficient? How do you find quick ways to score? So that's a lot of things we're talking about in practice and putting them in situations like that in practice as well as in the film, individual film and team film, just making sure that they're understanding and able to kind of look at that stuff and recount. But you don't want to know what you don't know. So if they're not in those situations, they don't know how to work to get out of it. So I think that's the blessing of playing some of these long matches early, that if we get into that situation late, they'll have been there and done that.
Okay. So going into
Oh, Coach, you talked before the season or earlier in the season about offensively could be a strong point. As far as the balance and the efficiency, is that something what you kind of envision with this team so far, and kind of what's been the difference as far as mindset of being aggressive and things like that?
Yeah, I definitely think, we're at 12.8 kills per set. We want to be a little bit more towards 14. So I think the efficiency is something we're talking about a little bit. If you can't if you don't have, the first initial one, what are we going to do? How do we find ways to score quick? But certainly spreading the ball around. Taylor Gaines, our freshman, has really come on as of late and picked up some big time kills and numbers for us. Allie Tribe's doing a great job. We're continually trying to have the setters push the ball through the middle and get our middles going, so that opens up our pins. And it is nice to have those weapons, and just making sure that we have that consistency piece now. It's not kill or error. It's, kill. Sometimes we have to maintain and win it on defense a little bit more.
How much is it just kind of some of them had to get a year of experience, some coming back from injuries, and then just kind of the chemistry of the transfers coming in, and then just kind of maybe you can kind of maybe see it kind of coming together early in the season.
Yeah, I think the setters are getting used to their attackers now. We have a good lineup rolling in to conference play next weekend. Obviously, taking care of business this weekend, but that continuity between setters and attackers are really working well. We saw Megan Hawkins go into a 5-1 a little bit when we needed it this weekend, which was great to see, and continuing to push Treddy and Tribe, who are veterans for us, even though they're only sophomores. So it was really great to see that piece this weekend and test that out a little bit, which was great. But again, just continuing to rely on, what you do well, do it often. And if you can't, then trust the defense.
Sean, if you want to go ahead.
Coach, you've really worked to create a tremendous home court environment in the Convo. You've been away from home for a few weeks. How excited are you to be back in front of the fans, and what makes playing in the Convo so special?
Volleyball is a big part of San Antonio and South Texas in general. We have a lot of great players here, and some really great pedigree of programs, high school programs, club programs, and we're just kind of trying to continue to add to that brand and play a fast, exciting style of volleyball, and people want to come watch. And I think that's kudos to our players for their engagement in the community. And when fans come and watch, they're talking to them, win or lose, after a game, and we're going to leave it all out there. That's something that you can expect from us. It's going to be a fast style of volleyball. You're going to see big emotions, and we're going to leave it all on the floor. So it's a fun environment to be in, and we're really appreciative for everyone that comes out.
Go ahead, Serenity.
Coach, looking at this offense, we do have a lot of outside hitters on the team. Is there any way of maybe opening up that middle, opening up that right side more in the future to get those more creative attacking opportunities?
Yeah, I think Caroline Treadwell's at 2.3, hitting 340. So definitely getting some middle production out of her. On the season so far, Gigi's hitting 2 kills per set, hitting 200. So continuing to just ramp that up with her. And we're in a 6-2, so our pins are going to get a lot of balls, and that's by design, to put offensive weapons in there and spread that ball out. I think you can get really log jammed with getting heavy, but a kill's a kill. And if Tribe's going, she's gonna get the ball. If Gaines is going, she's gonna get the ball. So I think it's dependent on what game. We're definitely gonna have to go through the middles this weekend to beat UTA, North Florida, and Prairie View A&M. So working on that a lot in practice is just trusting our middles and letting them go to work, and then that opens it up for everybody else.
Go ahead, Sean.
On Friday, we'll recognize educators. Curious if there's a teacher or a coach who really made the big impact in your life to make you kind of pursue this career path.
That's a tough one. I was really spoiled growing up. I grew up in good old Fenton, Michigan, and a lot of teacher coaches. My mom being one of them. I was able to just really have great connections with my teachers who are also my coaches. Most notably, probably my basketball coach, Coach DeWitt, and my high school volleyball coach, Natalie. They really pushed me. They held me accountable. I was a little bit of a turd when I was in high school, to be honest with you. And they just continued to stay at, what I should do, what I need to be doing, what I need to do for the team, what I need to do to be successful. And they just instilled a lot of life lessons in me that I'm trying to pass on to our team right now. And everything's bigger than yourself. And yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Fenton High School educators and coaches and what they poured into me. Really, really grateful for those lessons that I learned young.
Go ahead, Terrence.
Coach, as far as your schedule, obviously you've played 3 or 4 teams that made the NCAA tournament last year. Is that something purposeful, or just kind of just fell that way, or in kind of this weekend, is it kind of your last situation before you start conference with, hey, this is kind of our last chance to get everything going?
Yeah, by design, if we want to be an NCAA tournament team, we got to get in front of NCAA tournament teams and play well and know what that looks like and know what that consistency looks like. And Texas State and SFA definitely brought that first weekend, and we saw a lot of great pieces. From that weekend and learning how to finish games and learning how to finish sets. And I think that's something that we'll continue to, hammer home is, when you got it, when you're on the roll, continue to do what's going on, be okay making a change or making a move, and just continue to grind and find ways to score. And at the end of the day, just continue to talk about scoring more points. And then going into this weekend, scheduling's a beast. Sometimes it's, who can come and who's available. And then sometimes it's matchups and being strategic. So kind of a big puzzle piece of wanting to play at home and play in front of our crowd, and also just getting battle tested on the road as well.
Sean?
We have a lot of new people playing this year or returnees who are maybe in new roles or seeing additional playing time. How pleased have you been with the team chemistry, and how have you seen that grow over the course of the season?
I mean, if anyone that spends any amount of time with our team, you are having a blast. They have big personalities. They're very fun together. They're very good at just picking each other up and pushing people forward. Very selfless as a group. We have a lot of people that can step in and play. And when you see youth playing, you're chomping at the bit to do that. So we've really seen some people grow over preseason and now these pre-conference tournaments, and really getting some great time. Keeley, one of our liberos, DS liberos, came in this weekend and did a spectacular job for us and really championing the back row between some of our young kids and our returning libero, Peyton Turner. And then seeing, a lot of young attackers. I mean, our most veteran attacker right now is Allie Tribe, and she's really handling a big load for us. Really proud of her and what she's doing. And then just kudos to our leadership team and how they continue to hold the team together and get them going in the right direction. But a mentality of just next woman up, and we need everybody, and you're here for a reason, and you have a purpose, and whether it's a serving sub or a blocking sub or maybe someone's just having an off day, that you're ready to jump in and get after it. So we really try to preach that a lot in practice and try to continue to give everyone quality reps in practice so they're ready to go.
Go ahead, Serenity.
I just want to highlight the late Thursday match and the early Friday morning matches against North Dakota and Idaho. We did see an amazing mix of offense and defense holding strong, especially in the back row, but seeing attackers like Allie Tribe still manage to get in digs. In fact, she got her other double-doubles in this past one. How does it feel knowing having both strong attackers and strong defenders in one player?
Yeah, I mean, Allie Tribe's a great player, and she's doing it on both sides of the ball, like you said, and we're really pushing her and demanding a lot from her. She's definitely answering the call. I think people realize or recognize her a little bit more for her arm and how much offense she brings to us, and she's in a big role this year, on the dig transition side of things as well, to produce from the back row, and we're just trying to tell her to control what she can, put yourself in good situations, and if that ball touches you, it's up, and then let's work really, really hard to dig transition out of it. And it's always been one of our keys and kind of cornerstones of our program is we're going to try to out dig transition people. That starts defensively with our littles in the back row, and then Allie Tribe's our sixth rotation outside right now, and she's doing a really good job of holding steady.
Coach, Taylor Gaines tied the program 3-set match record in service aces with 7. Just kind of, how does that kind of go about with having a freshman take that next step and kind of already etch your name into the record book?
Yeah, I mean, when you're young and so many of our players are, you kind of don't know what they can do. And we needed to put some service pressure from the line on North Dakota because they were running a really fast offense. And we were like, hey, Gaines is crushing it in practice serving. She's high flyer, can really put some pace on it. Let's let her go back there and see if she can burn a few in there. And then a few turned into a lot, and she really put some pressure on him in that match and did a really, really great job. So we just kind of let her have the reins and said, trust yourself, go get after it. But I think that's the kind of player you're going to see from Taylor. The sky's the limit for her. She's super athletic, really high flyer, doesn't get rattled very easily, just continues to go to the next ball and flip to the next ball. So it's really, really fun to see her, kind of get into a groove and add to her repertoire of what she's doing and what we can count on her for.
All righty. I think that'll be it. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Birds up.